mean, we're
first,
not.
right? Yeah, that's okay.
I can cut it over.
So okay.
Okay.
So I guess we're back. We sort of told you what would be ideal for us, and we. Sorry.
Do you mind if I restate like your propositions now, like how much you actually in total you need?
So we're willing to buy the Techno Cleaner, assuming that you guarantee it with no subsidy from your part for the water scrubber.
But you have to cover for our liability assistance. $300, $200,000, and we would expect public relations campaign paid by your side for $200,000.
And the DEC compliance, I understand it's expensive to you. So if you're able to accommodate those other two,
Well, we still need some.
we need some assistance.
We need some from them, like at least 150.
150?
Yeah.
150.
And that this will
totally out
all
of budget.
this will also assume that we will stop our operations for 2 months to focus on the installation on the water scrubber, because otherwise we're gonna lose money too.
So
Okay, so that's a little too much for us. The reason
Yeah.
being
Right.
we also have budget issues.
No, I understand. But so we're
So-
both now at two extremes, and I think let's try to find something that works for the both of us. Because
Yeah.
the proposition you offered us of $50,000 of public relations is a little bit insulting, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's pretty insulting.
Like it's not like it's nothing. It's
what
not-
what
the offer of $50,000 for public relations, that's all you offered. That and a warranty. Like it's not a place to start off. It's like
Okay.
let's just throw some peanuts at you and see if you'll run off happy. You know, the reality is we both benefit from working together, and if this company goes out of business, we're gonna make it very clear to all the employees that they have lost their jobs because of the efforts of the DEC. And
See, that's absolutely not where we were coming from, because especially given the public relations, we thought that this could be sort of helpful for you, because
Right.
even if we are spending a little amount, it's going to be exponential for you, because we are showing you as an exemplary figure. So, but let's
but
get
it's
to the
not
numbers.
exponential, by the way, just so you know. So, like the 50,000 of public relations that you help us with will only help us with $50,000 of revenue. It's not exponential, and it's a diminishing return. So the more you offer us,
Yeah.
the less
Benefit
Okay.
it is
benefit
for
we
us.
derive from it.
Okay, I see. And
So it's not an exponential. I think in your head you have this idea that 50,000 is going to turn into $1 million. It's not.
okay, so you mean like if you keep it at 50, you're going to get 50, right? So let's
That's
just start with maximizing the buy. So maybe with public relations, as you mentioned, let's try to maximize where we can in both
Okay.
aspects. So apparently, public relations is not the place where we'll be able to exponentially help either of
Yeah.
us.
I believe for us, public relations, $100,000 of campaign will be maximized
Okay,
in
so
terms
let's.
of like benefit, long-term benefit
Yeah,
as well.
Okay, so if you look at that, and then on top of that, you mentioned liability assistance
Right.
with respect to
Right.
$200.
You
$200.
want 200 or 300?
200.
200.
200.
200.
Sure.
And with respect to that, if we are able to get to a point of 150, I think that would be good for us.
So 150 liability insurance,
Yes.
100 public relations,
Yes.
and where do we stand on the other DEC incentives or?
The incentives is something it's a little difficult for us, so I think we can go as far as 50 for the compliance incentive. It's exponential costs for us there.
So where do we stand with that?
One credit.
Public relations, they said 100, so that's option D. DEC compliance, they said you said how much for DEC compliance? 150 or
50.
50? Oh, for the compliance incentive, yeah, 50. So
And then
where do we
we-
stand?
We pay for the Techno Clean
We pay for the techno clean,
with their guarantees,
right?
with your guarantees, right?
Yeah. Without
And
guarantees.
we'll close for 2 months.
Close for 2 months?
Yeah.
2 months. 2 months.
Okay, I think we're starting to get closer.
Would it work if like, you know?
So, by the way, I'm just curious for how much in total, like, you actually need to save in order to avoiding the.
So you're asking us how
Yeah.
much you want to give us so that we don't go to court?
No,
How much
it's
do you
more
need
like
to, how much
you
do you need to save so
No.
that we don't go to court? it's the same question back to you, right? Like you're asking us,
You're
you're basically asking
No,
us
but I'm saying,
what
like,
is
if
our,
you- if
you
you-
want to
Yeah,
know
different.
what our bottom line is,
like our bad.
right? Like
It's
if
more
you're
like-
willing to offer us your bottom line, we'll offer you our bottom line, and then we can meet somewhere in between that.
No,
But
but
I
saying
need
like,
some sort of
but
gain.
but I heard before it's like 500K something. Like you
Yeah.
wanted to save that liability, something like that. I don't remember. Is that
I don't think that's not an
Yeah.
accurate number. No, that's
It costs more.
our liability insurance deductible is 550K.
no? I'm saying like
I
in
don't know
total.
if
I say like if you including all the things,
No,
you
it's
probably need to
definitely
save
more
that
than that.
particular thing.
Okay,
so
we
that
are
you-
It's more
44
than
minutes. Let's move ahead. Okay,
So
so you mentioned 100 in public relations and 150 we decided on liability,
right,
and then you want to close for 2 months.
Yep.
That's going to be 225. That's more than what?
What shows that?
Okay.
we're still losing
How much?
money.
Okay, I think so. With respect to, and then you want to close for 2 months too.
Yep.
Public relations 100. That's 150.
That's not what we asked for.
This is 48.
That's what they're offering us, not what they're asking
Yeah,
us.
that's what they're offering us.
And
Yeah.
there's
So
we
100
should
on
stick
public
to this.
relations
This
and
is what you're offering us, right?
this is what we decide. No.
We haven't
No.
decided anything. This
Okay.
is we.
So you mentioned like you would want $100 on.
Public relations, right? Which we agreed.
Yeah, $100 on public relations, and you
But that will require us higher compliance incentive.
mentioned your compliance incentive at 150, and you mentioned your and you mentioned your liability assistance at 200. I believe. This is public relations. This is DEC. Okay, so I think we can work with the subsidy, the public relations of $100,
Okay.
and we can work with the liability of $200.
Okay.
Subsidy of $200. But like DC is something that's exponential costs for us,
Okay.
Which one?
so we'll be able to
the
sort of
compliance.
the compliance
Right.
incentive.
Yep.
So, which is why we were offering you 50 for this, but we can
Okay.
certainly help you with letting you close the plant for 2 months.
Yep.
It's not updated. Do you mind just fixing this properly?
They're giving us 100, right?
Yeah.
So it's which one we're going for?
Right.
So this is updated.
It's
We want to go up to
200, so
150.
which is going to be more
You
cost
will
more,
what?
250. But I think they were mentioning this
Would you agree to that?
No.
is
Still no way.
so I see this was how it was for
I don't know if you have to change. Yeah.
plant closing.
100.
So this is for Techno Clean that we are looking at, right?
Yeah.
With guarantee, right?
Guarantee no subsidy.
With guarantee, oh yeah, right. I forgot that amount. Guarantee. So this is for Techno Clean, and if you were to go with Roto Blue, is we also
Roto Blue, we haven't if we go down that road, then we don't really have a deal. We go down the Roto Blue fashion. I think you're not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy, and it's going to cost us more than to just go to court.
But you mentioned that initially, which is why I'm wondering.
You mean like we just changed from TechnoClean to RotoBlue? Everything else remained the same?
No, I meant you mentioned that you would be okay with Roto Blue and public
Right,
relations.
assuming that there was assistance in the other areas, right?
You mentioned that it was Roto Blue and public relations.
No.
Yeah.
With
No,
more
that's what you opened up with.
No. Kevin said that at the beginning of the video. If you can go back.
Whether or not, I'm sure
Yeah,
we could go back,
that's
but
not where we
that's
stand
not
right
where
now.
we stand, right? So
Okay.
I'm sure we could put a lot of words in your mouth as well if we wanted to.
No, I mean
Okay.
it's just something I'm repeating what you said. So
Um,
So where do we stand right now?
So
We're gonna buy, assuming that, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page, right? So if we buy the water scrubber, which is a techno clean with your guarantee,
Yeah.
and we close for 2 months, and you're offering us a liability assistance of 200, is that correct? And 150 public relation.
No, you said
150?
100.
No, it's 100.
You said
It's
100.
100. Okay. And compliance incentive of 50. Is that
what
correct?
for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
See if we can
300,
counter with
400,
one last offer.
We have to increase these two.
I know this is not
478,
profitable, but let me just see if this makes sense.
11. This is already too high.
It's okay.
So we'll agree to all those terms if you increase the public relations budget to 200.
Compliance? No?
Compliance,
Can we
it's too
do-
expensive for them. They're not going to budge on compliance.
Can we? So
Public relations too?
To 200, keeping everything else constant.
Maybe let's come to a
150?
midpoint and fix it
150?
at 150.
Does 150 make sense? No, they're still at. Should we just
50,
break and redo
50.
it and meet another time? Sorry, liability assistance, you were at how much? 200?
Yeah.
200. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we stand.
It's like a standstill.
What was your last offer?
200 for public relations.
200 for public relations.
Is that works for you if you guys do 150 or no?
Wait, hold on. You sure you just wanna?
We're really like,
Let's look at our calculations.
you know, the way it works. So it does work, but when you're looking at the cost of us pursuing this in court versus the cost of us going down this way, it's like pennies. Like they're like
Yeah.
pennies of difference, and it makes me wonder if it's just better to go to court,
Yeah, exactly.
not just
Yeah.
like looking from sort of not looking at my job in specific from a sort of from the larger corporation's point of view. I wonder if it just makes better sense to go to court and take
Yeah.
that risk.
So you think like fixing it at 200 is going to...
I think it'll tip the scales for sure, making things like a little bit more even.
Do you want to go for 200?
How about we
Okay.
break for 2 minutes so you guys can discuss? That's the offer on the table right now.
No, I think we
I
just need
think-
like a few seconds.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think?
okay.
Because it's still good.
All right. Do we need to make these calculations again, or are we good with this?
I think I'm good.
I think
We should push
Okay,
for
this
that.
is- yeah.
Okay, I
they're
think
not gonna
we...
budge
Yeah.
there.
So it's too big. It's still
Just give us 1 second.
Yeah,
They're
so
not gonna
let's
budge
just...
there. Let's go back to B.
Yeah, so let's just
Yeah.
go ahead with this because we are already short on time. Because...
So 200 on public relation.
So just to repeat, you guys pay for the techno clean for without with guarantee, and also then the assistant of the liability for 200, and cost for 2 months, and for the public relationships we pay for the whole thing, and for the compliance incentives we do 50. Is that good term?
It's not great.
That's your
It's not
offer.
bad.
No, I know, but we're like, because you're not working with us, right? Like, if we felt that you were trying to work with us, then I
we're really
understand.
close to the budgeting we are having right now. To be
Really?
fair.
You
Yeah.
you
What's that
mentioned
budget? You asked us about ours, right? So it's a reasonable question to ask back.
you just mentioned about like we are just giving you your offer, so I don't understand. Like
Yeah,
yes,
I don't
Give
understand.
Give
Yes.
us a minute. Give us a minute to discuss. If you want, we can take a pause.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. Okay. Pause this.